Good morning, everyone. Hope you're well and things are going okay for you. Just a reminder of some things. Just to remind you that tomorrow morning from 10 until 12 noon, we're having a collection for Storehouse down at the church. So if you bring your packages, your parcels down there to the church from 10 until 12, we will organise those and get them sent to Storehouse. Also, reminder of our worship on Sunday morning at 11 o'clock, and reminder that the clocks change this weekend. So make sure that you're aware of that if you want to join us live at 11 for our live stream worship. And this will be the last live stream only service. We'll go back to in-person worship along with the live stream from the Easter weekend, and we'll remind you of that in the days to come. Also remember the prayer times that we're having on Zoom with our friends in Conlig, Lisnabreen and St Andrews, starting on Monday night and going through until Thursday night from 7:30. And the link for that has been made available. If you haven't got that, please get in touch with me and I'll give that to you. We're reading this morning from Mark's Gospel, Mark chapter 15 and verses 1 to 15. And as soon as it was morning, the chief priests held a consultation with the elders and scribes and the whole council. And they bound Jesus and led him away and delivered him over to Pilate. And Pilate asked him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" And he answered him, "You have said so." And the chief priests accused him of many things. And Pilate again asked him, "Have you no answer to make? See how many charges they bring against you." But Jesus made no further answer, so that Pilate was amazed. Now at the feast he used to release for them one prisoner for whom they asked. And among the rebels in prison who had committed murder in the insurrection, there was a man called Barabbas. And the crowd came up and began to ask Pilate to do as he usually did for them. And he answered them, saying, "Do you want me to release for you the king of the Jews?" For he perceived that it was out of envy that the chief priests had delivered him up. But the chief priests stirred up the crowd to have him release for them Barabbas instead. And Pilate again said to them, "Then what shall I do with the man you call the king of the Jews?" They cried out again, "Crucify him." Pilate said to them, "Why? What evil has he done?" But they shouted all the more, "Crucify him." So Pilate, wishing to satisfy the crowd, released for them Barabbas. And having scourged Jesus, he delivered him to be crucified. I'm reading from one of those Bibles where Jesus' words are marked out in red in the Gospels. And in Mark 15, in the entirety of Mark 15, which is about 47 verses long, Jesus speaks 13 words in English. And so what we're being directed to as we read through this chapter is not so much the words that Jesus says as the words that are spoken about him and the things that happen to him. The chief priests speak about him and they accuse him of blasphemy and also of a political crime. He's claiming, they say, to be the king of the Jews, a threat to Roman power in the region. When Pilate questions him, though, he doesn't see much of a threat in this carpenter from Galilee, beaten and bruised from the beating he's already had at the Sanhedrin. But he's anxious, Pilate is anxious to keep the peace in Jerusalem. When the crowd come baying for the blood of Jesus, despite having no evidence of his guilt, it puts Pilate in a difficult position. It's important that he keeps the peace. And all the time, all the way through it, Jesus is silent. No defense, no objections to the charges that are being brought against him. He is silent like a lamb going to slaughter. Why? Why is he silent? Why does he make no defense? Why does he not speak up for himself? Because he's committed to drink this cup for you and for I, the cup that he looked on in horror in the Garden of Gethsemane. He is absolutely determined to drink it for you and for me. He will see this through to the end. He will die the shameful, brutal, horrible death on a cross that had been reserved for Barabbas, an insurrectionist and a murderer. Someone who in Roman legal terms was fully deserving of that public, shameful execution. Jesus did not deserve it. Jesus was wholly innocent. And of course, you and I are Barabbas as we put ourselves into this story. You and I are Barabbas. That was our place he took. It was we who deserved the shame and degradation and the death of the cross. It was we who deserved the punishment. But it was he, the innocent Son of God, who took it in our place. Over next week, we will go through Mark 15 and we'll see the stages that Jesus goes through in these final hours. And as we do that, it's important that we reflect that it was our place he took in that on that Good Friday. As we go through Holy Week, take the time to reflect again, to remember again that it was your place, it was my place that he took there, and consider our response to him who willingly gave himself for you and for me. God bless.